The Justice Department says it's making extraordinary accommodation for House Intel Committee members to see those FISA documents as President Trump suggests that the Jeff Sessions-led department is slow-walking various congressional requests for documents tied to these investigations and the Clinton email probe. And joining us on the phone right now is the House Intel Chairman, Congressman Devin Nunes. Congressman, I appreciate you joining us because I know you're on a congressional delegation traveling right now, and we want to get to these important issues involving the Justice Department. But real quick, I want to get to some news breaking overnight. There was a chemical attack, as you probably know. I don't know if you've been briefed yet, given the fact that you're traveling. At least 70 killed in this suspected chemical attack. Last time there was an incident like this, as you know, President Trump ordered airstrikes against Syria last year. I wonder what you know about this incident and what you think about the stakes and the potential for U.S. action.
Well, thank you and good morning. And yes, I haven't been briefed on this yet, but I've just seen news reports, and obviously it's very troubling. This activity continues. You just saw last week the Russian President Putin was meeting with both the Turkish president and the Iranian leader. This is a troubled region. It's not going to get any easier. It's always been a troubled region. But, with Secretary Mattis, I have confidence in him. We have hopefully Secretary Pompeo soon coming in as Secretary of State, and John Bolton at the NSC. So the good thing is that President Trump's getting some good advice. And, my advice would be to listen to them and move forward in an appropriate manner.
It is such a sad situation going on there. I want to get your thoughts as well. The DOJ, they say they are making extraordinary accommodations for the House Intel members to view the FISA docs, to look over warrants that were given to surveil Carter Page as part of the Russia probe. You are leading that effort. The president has been tweeting out about this past week. He says he's frustrated things aren't happening quick enough. There's not enough transparency. Where do things stand right now?
Well, this is unacceptable. This is information that, first of all, leaked out a long time ago. If you remember, the Carter Page FISA warrant, that had leaked out back in 2016. We fought and fought and fought to get that information that culminated with finally we were able to send a couple investigators over and Trey Gowdy over that led to the memo that we released. So now people know that the Clinton paid-for dirt was used against the Trump campaign, to spy on the Trump campaign. So our members have been asking to see the underlying information that our investigators had been able to review. So it was nice that they did that, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense because this is something that should have been done a long time ago. What they failed to address is we have been asking, we subpoenaed in August of last year to see a 2-page document, which is called an electronic communication, which is what they used to open the investigation into the Trump presidential campaign in the summer of 2016. We still have not seen that, and we have not seen an fully unredacted version of that document.
And, Mr. Chairman, they say, those that would do the redacting, that it's too sensitive. And I would ask you, as the chairman of the House Intel Committee, I got to believe you have as high a classification as anyone in our government does. Is it too classified, or are they stonewalling and hiding behind something they don't want you or the public to see?
Good point. I keep trying to tell this to the Department of Justice and the FBI. Congress created the Department of Justice and the FBI. They're the ones that open an investigation into a presidential campaign using our counterintelligence capability. So this in and of itself was unprecedented. It's crazy. The American people know it's crazy. And the longer that they keep very basic information from us, like show us the 2 pages on what led you to believe that you should open this investigation into the campaign. And the longer that they block this from us, I think the more the American people are going to become frustrated, and it's going to look badly on the Department of Justice and the FBI.
Why do you think it's taking so long?
Look, just like we found out with the other information, every time we had to fight for months and months and months to just get a little bit more information, it always turns out badly for them. I mean, look what's just coming out here in the last week on the additional text messages from Mr. Strzok and Ms. Page, the FBI agents. And remember, our committee was the first to ask for those text messages. We were promised that we had all the information as it related to FISA abuse. And then we find out, oh, wait, they were talking to a judge. now we find out just this week there were additional text messages involving discussions that they were having about the FISA process. The Department of Justice and the FBI knew that we had them under investigation for FISA abuse, and they just decided not to give us that information. So my guess is that whatever is in this electronic communication, which we have a pretty good idea, and you know why we have a good idea? Because they leaked it at the end of December. Somebody from the FBI had to have leaked the information that was in that electronic communication to the New York Times. And we need to verify that, if that was an actual, was that leaked to the New York Times? Was that true or not?
When I reached out to you yesterday, Congressman, you mentioned that in your travels with this congressional delegation, some of our partners, our allies in the fight against al-Qaeda, ISIS, are asking you as the House Intel Chairman, was intelligence weaponized by the Obama administration against Trump officials, and that they're kind of worried about what's happening in the United States. Can you talk about the stakes there?
Yeah, well, typically when we're overseas, we meet with our allies and partners with their intelligence services. And a lot of times we talk to them about having high levels of standards, right? Not using your intelligence agencies to spy on political opponents. It's one of the first conversations we have, especially with countries that are developing in some way, because a lot of times the political leaders will try to use the intelligence agencies to spy on their opponents, to get economic information against opponents, to get dirty information about their opponents. And we always start with the conversation of, look, our intelligence services in the United States, we don't get involved in politics. And now, after years and years of us saying that, I've had to answer the question over the last week from multiple intelligence agencies of these are sometimes strong allies or close partners that are helping us track down ISIS and al-Qaeda terrorists all over the globe. And I have to sit there for the first 15 minutes of the meeting. Well, here's what happened. And, and I have to say, look, we have a Congress. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. But other countries, even second world countries, are questioning what the hell is going on in America.
Such an interesting and important point that you don't think about at all. Well, Congressman, Mr. Chairman, please be safe in your travels. Thank you for your work, and we look forward to checking in for updates.
Great to get your perspective this morning.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
All right, turning now to some other headlines that we are following closely this morning. Investigators may have found the body of a child missing after a family SUV plunged off of that